This video was edited by AJ Analysis, a link to his channel will be in the description below. So with the summer approaching, it's clear that Manchester United are going to need to bring in reinforcements and spend heavily if they wish to get anywhere near Manchester City and Liverpool next season. Now I would recommend that United look to bring in players around 30 to maybe £50 million who aren't completely overvalued because of their reputation, and this would therefore allow them to bring in 4 or 5 players rather than just 2 or 3. However, there are certain circumstances where it probably is worth bringing in a highly reputable player for a massive fee. This was what was referred to as a Galactico during the start of Florentino Perez's tenures at Real Madrid. So if United are in the market for a Galactico, which one should they bring in? I've narrowed it down to my 5 best options, so I'll analyse each player individually and give my verdict at the end. But before I go any further, for cheap good quality football jerseys, retro jerseys and tracksuits, go over to www.jerseyfever.com. I myself have bought a number of different jerseys from Jersey Fever, including this 2003-2004 Manchester United shirt with Ronaldo on the back, and this one's probably my favourite. So if you want a shirt like this, be sure to click the link in the description below and use code ATLANTISFOOTBALL with a space to get 5% off. So my first Galactico option is Serge Gnabry. Now Gnabry is 26, 27 in July, and his contract at Bayern Munich goes until 2023, which means that come the summer Bayern Munich are going to have to convince Gnabry to either extend his contract, which is still uncertain at this moment in time, keep him and risk losing him on a free next summer, or sell him this summer at a reduced fee from what he would normally be worth, and I'll come on to what I think he is worth in just a bit. Gnabry is best when he's playing from the left side of a front three in my opinion, but equally he can be just effective from the right as well, given the freedom to sit high up the pitch but also drift infield into central positions. Not only does he have the dribbling and pace that you would expect from a wide attacker, but he also has exceptional chance creating ability, combined with top level goal scoring output as well. Gnabry is a world class player in my opinion, and his FBref report over the past 365 days when compared against every other attacking midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues shows this. He ranks in the 99th percentile for non-penalty goals with 0.69 per 90, whilst ranking also in the 95th percentile for non-penalty XG with 0.45, meaning that he is overperforming his XG rate by a massive 0.24 per 90, which means that if Gnabry is going to play say 40 games in a season, he would likely score 9.6 more goals than he would be expected from his XG model if he kept up this overperformance, which shows just how good a finisher Gnabry is. This season he has scored 10 goals in 23 appearances in the Bundesliga, 12 goals in 31 total appearances, and 2 goals in 5 Champions League appearances. United do need a top level wide attacker, with Mason Greenwood looking to make his loan deal to Prison FC permanent, and a front three of Ronaldo with Sancho and Gnabry either side, and capable of switching sides as well, with Hernandez and potentially Paul Pogba if he remains at United in behind, makes me harder than a double dose of Viagra. He'd likely cost around £15 million I would estimate, which would be an exceptional deal for a player who I think could command a fee of around £100 million if he had longer left on his contract. The next potential Galactico on my list of course is Erling Haaland, who is 21, 22 in July and has a contract at Dortmund until 2024, with his apparent release clause being between £65 million and £75 million, which is active from this summer, and it seems almost certain that the Norwegian will leave the Westfalenstadion this year. Now whilst you would imagine that Real Madrid, Manchester City and even PSG would be in better positions to convince Haaland to join, there is still the possibility that with the right offer from United and the other clubs maybe not being prepared to pay the extra add-ons to Haaland and Raiola, that United could convince him to join, and I think they and every other club in the world should be looking to do everything they can to get Haaland. See, Haaland isn't just another world-class striker like say Harry Kane or Dusan Vlahovic. He's a player who is bordering on legendary status already, and when I break down his stats you'll see why. Haaland, probably since birth but most definitely since joining Dortmund, has been scoring at an incredible rate, with 56 goals in 57 games for Dortmund. Yes, that's right, 56 in 57. Now Ronaldo Nazario's best season in my opinion was 96-97, and I did do a video breaking down that season, so I'll leave that linked in the description below and in the eye above, but that season he scored 47 goals in 49 games, nearly a goal every game, and Haaland currently is scoring at that same rate. This season he scored 16 goals in 14 appearances in the Bundesliga, 3 goals in 3 appearances in the Champions League, and 23 goals in 20 appearances in total. When we look at his FBref report, you'll see the insanity even clearer. In the last 365 days, he sits in the 99th percentile for non-penalty goals when compared against every other striker in Europe's top 5 leagues with 0.91 per 90, whilst also sitting in the 99th percentile for non-penalty XG with 0.71 per 90, which, like Gnabry, is a massive overperformance, 0.20 per 90 to be exact. He also sits in the 90th percentile for expected assists with 0.23, so it's pretty clear that Haaland is world class, and the only players really on his level at the minute are Mbappe and Lewandowski, and I would say that if Haaland can play 40 plus games next season, he'll probably move into that number 1 spot ahead of those two. The fact that he's still only 21, nearly 22 means that he probably isn't going to slow down anytime soon, and could get even better, which makes a potential deal almost impossible to turn down for any top club. Mbappe and Haaland are going to be the Messi and Ronaldo of the 2020s, probably not as good as those two, but not far off, and at the moment I would say that those are the only two that have a chance of challenging Messi and Ronaldo's GOAT status. I may do a complete breakdown of who I actually think is the GOAT, so if you do want to see that video, tell me in the comment section, and subscribe as well as clicking the bell so you get notified when it does come out. So overall, even if you have to pay Haaland £1 million per week in salary, plus say 20 million to Raiola and another 20 million in a signing on fee to Haaland, I think that for Manchester United this is without doubt a good deal, as you are getting a Ballon d'Or contender for the next decade or so, and think about how valuable Messi and Ronaldo have been for Real Madrid and Barcelona over the past decade or so, and it's no coincidence that both of those teams were so dominant during the 2010s. The next player on my list was going to be Frenkie de Jong, however since Xavi's come in, I think a move away from the Camp Nou for de Jong is highly unlikely, with him having a contract until 2026 and reiterating his desire to stay just recently. So instead the player in his place is going to be Kalidou Koulibaly, who despite being 30 now, 31 in the summer, is still a world-class centre-back in my opinion, and definitely in the top 5 in the world at the moment. Koulibaly is a front foot, quick and commanding centre-back, exactly what United need in their back line. It's no surprise that Napoli have conceded the least amount of goals in Serie A this season, and also have the lowest expected goals against in the league as well. Koulibaly would immediately improve United's ability to play a high defensive line, being significantly quicker than Maguire and a much better one-on-one defender as well. If you think back to the difference that Virgil van Dijk made when he came into Liverpool and Ruben Dias into Manchester City, you can see the impact of a world-class centre-back, as it can radically change a team's defence. Koulibaly is also a very good ball-playing centre-back as well and plays on the left side, so would be perfect alongside Varane. Now some may shy away from Koulibaly because of his age and cost, however centre-backs usually hit their peak later than midfielders or forwards, usually between 29 and 32. And they do tend to have longer careers at the top level, so I reckon if signed, United would get at least 2 or 3 years left of Koulibaly before he potentially hit a major decline, and that could be the difference between United winning a title and coming 3rd or 4th. He only has 1 year left on his Napoli contract come the summer, so likely they'd want to cash in on him, and I think United could get him for between 30 and 40 million pounds, which is a very good deal, given the significant improvement he would bring. My next Galactico option on this list is also a centre-back, but this time it's Bayern Munich's 26-year-old French defender, Lucas Hernandez, who I think is one of the most underrated players in all of world football. Lucas Hernandez, in my opinion, is top 3 best one-on-one defenders in the world, and could even make a claim to being the best. And this can be seen as this season in the Bundesliga he's completed 2.1 tackles per 90, only being dribbled past 0.5 times per 90, giving him a very impressive tackle success rate of 80%. With him also playing a large proportion of his career at left back, Hernandez is a very good ball carrier and overall a fantastic ball playing centre back. As seen as when we look at his FB ref report, we can see that not only does he rank in the 99th percentile for tackles completed, but also the 98th for progressive passes, the 95th for progressive carries, and the 99th for dribbles completed, showing that he is amongst the best centre-backs on the ball in the world. Like Koulibaly, Lucas Hernandez would have a dramatic impact and drastically improve United's ability to keep clean sheets, which is crucial if United want to challenge for the title. He has 2 years left on his current contract come the summer, so I reckon United could get him for around the £60 million mark, if they could convince him to join, which I don't think is completely unrealistic. Also, if you do like the look of these phone cases, I'll leave the link in the description below. Anything you buy will help support the channel. My personal favourite is the Ronaldo Sue Celebration one. If you use code AF at checkout, you should get 25% off as well. The last player on this list, like Gnabry and Lucas before, is a Bayern Munich player, and it's their star man Robert Lewandowski. Now this may seem like an unlikely deal, but Lewandowski's contract ends in the summer of 2023, and he has flirted with the idea of potentially moving away from the Allianz, and if Bayern did want to get a fee for him, this summer would be their last chance. Lewandowski would be 34 by the start of next season, and Bayern probably wouldn't let him leave for less than £40 million. However, Lewandowski is still world class and arguably in his peak. And when you look at these statistics behind the man, it says it all. Last season he scored 48 goals in just 40 appearances, more than 1 goal a game. And this season he hasn't let up either, scoring 28 goals in 23 Bundesliga appearances, 9 goals in 7 Champions League appearances, and a total of 39 goals in 32 appearances. And he's still got another 3 months left of the season. His FBref report shows that he ranks in the 99th percentile for non-penalty goals with 1.20 per 90 from a non-penalty XG, also in the 99th percentile of 1.02, an overperformance of 0.18 goals per 90. Lewandowski is probably the best player in the world at the moment, with Mbappe and Haaland just behind him, and if United were to sign him, it would be a complete game changer. It would instantly make them title contenders, and even if he did decline slightly, he's still going to be superior to nearly every other striker in the Premier League, and I reckon he's still got another 2 or 3 years left at the top as well. So now let's rank these Galacticos in order of who United should sign. So my number 1 is obviously going to be Haaland, just outdoing Lewandowski because he is 12 years younger. With Lucas Hernandez in 3rd, Koulibaly in 4th, because I think United do desperately need a world-class centre-back, and Gnabry in 5th, but all 5 would be amazing signings for United. Could they even pull one of them off? So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, subscribe, click the bell, and go to the description to check out the phone cases and some of my other videos as well.